Hello, I'm Ali.
And I'm her best friend, Em.
This is She Said, She Said.
Join us for our ritual Wednesday evening glass of wine as we talk about the highs and lows of life as two foreign ladies living in France.
Think of this as the group chat you actually want to be on, where we talk about all the plates we're spinning and occasionally dropping.
We'll also give you the best tips we've learned from over a decade living among the Frenchies.
C'est parti!
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Am I good? I'm a bit sick, if anything. Feeling a bit like, I don't know if it's COVID, to be honest. Yeah. But, I'm telling myself it's not, but I've had it for a week. I feel like achy, sore throat, nose.
Apparently there's loads of COVID at the moment.
But I'm not willing to stop my life, so we'll say it's a virus. But
Are you just like, if I ignore you, you don't exist? Is that your strategy?
that's my strategy, yeah. Although my strategy has been kind of go to bed late, not rest enough, just do everything in my power not to get better. But that's probably why it's been a week.
Okay, I'm going to spare you all of the good advice then.
Yeah, I know it. I know what to do. Just haven't done it. Yeah.
But Wednesdays are tough when you don't feel good in your body.
Marathon. No, it's fine. Although I did pack the day full of stuff, which again, not ideal situation. Anyway.
It's ideal and not ideal because if you have nothing on, the day feels long. So you kind of want to have stuff on. It's just then in the evening you feel really tired and then you still have to do a podcast.
That's true. Yeah, just a casual podcast. Just put it in after dark. Welcome, lovely listeners, to our podcast.
Welcome.
Me and my best friend Ali. We live in France, in Lyon, and our kids do not go to school on a Wednesday. So that's why we're saying it's been tricky.
Only extracurricular fun all day long.
All day long.
Which
Lots
in
of
my
fun.
house started at 5:44 this morning.
The extracurricular fun started at 5:44 in the morning.
There was a lot of loud playing going on in the living room, which, to be fair, was done by two children who cannot read the clock. I got really annoyed when I heard them look at my phone and was like, "What? That's impossible."
That's insane. Oh,
Did a little bit what you're doing with COVID. I pretended for it to not exist and stay in bed.
perfect. If
So
it works for you. I mean,
that worked for a good hour, I think.
also only a 6:45 wake up.
Yes, only 6:45 wake up. I first thought I'm not going to get through the day. If it starts before 6, it's not going to happen. It's just going to be the worst day. But it often is like that on Wednesdays, and then it does get better. And I have to say it was a good Wednesday.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, I needed that. It was, I don't know, everyone was quite happy with everything that was going on. So
Fab.
what else? What else do you want?
What else
Even
could
I
you
was
want?
quite happy what was going on.
Well, I mean, you're very important too. It's important that you had a good day too.
Although, you know what was going on, which I'm not quite down with, is the weather. I'm sorry, I know it's a bit annoying to talk about the weather, but it's so cold.
Freezing. It's absolutely
All of a
freezing.
sudden.
I know. This always happens in Lyon though. And I don't know I think it's the same other places in France, but it's summer, summer, summer. And then from one day to the next, autumn is here. We lost like 15 degrees in a day.
Yeah.
It's freezing. It's
It's
freezing.
freezing. I don't know if I'm ready to get out winter coats.
You kind of have to. That does bring us quite nicely to one of our topics though, doesn't it? So today we want to talk about our top reflections on life in France, because we've been here a long time, over a decade, in
Over
the
a decade.
nailed. And one of our top reflections is that French people do not look at weather forecasts. They do not care what the weather is actually doing. They just go with the season, roll with
Yeah.
the punches.
Yes.
Right? French people will think, okay, well now it's autumn, it's coat weather. And they all wear these coats called doudoune, like a puffy, kind of puffer jacket, don't they?
Yeah.
Even though, like now, if the weather goes back up to 30 degrees, they will still be outside in their boots and doudoune
They'll be wearing it.
because it is autumn.
It is
Right?
autumn, so you dress for autumn.
Exactly.
100%. Yeah.
Didn't your partner say this as well?
My partner was saying something really funny about what he thought was super French. He was like, they just don't get it when it's cold. They just not wearing, practical clothes, which is probably quite German of him to say because, like, in Germany, everyone would be wearing a Jack Wolfskin jacket and, you know, trainers that are like waterproof and that stuff. Like, obviously, no one would do that in France. You wear your nice, your kind of like boots.
Suede.
Yeah. um, yeah, but he was saying something about a colleague of his who flew to Spain and didn't even a second think about, what weather it would be in Spain. This was recently, I guess. And that colleague just went to Spain without a jacket. It's just like, I don't even know if he'd brought a jumper. He was like, it's Spain. That's further south from France. So I'll be wearing summer clothes.
I love the image of your partner being there with his active wear or like, like mountain wear because he's read the weather forecast. He knows it's going to rain. And then just a French person there in like a t-shirt, kind of with their teeth chattering, like, this is a holiday destination.
You can't get that bit of Germanness out of a German.
It's good. It's practical.
Dress for the weather.
It's good. I think that's maybe a bit British though. Honestly, if like Brits go on holiday, they're not packing a jacket.
Yeah.
I feel like before we go into any more points, we have to do a disclaimer on this episode because I think we're going to take the piss out of French people quite a lot. And I just want to say, we love France. We love French people. We love France more than anywhere in the world. That's why we're here.
I'll second that. And we'll also mention a lot of the things that we love.
Yes.
It shouldn't sound like we're just saying bad things, but some of the things are just quite funny and they're more obvious to us as foreigners because we still have that one foot in the other culture.
I think because we've been here for such a long time, I do feel I'm just slowly becoming French. It was really easy to spot them at first and now I'm doing them.
Yes. Do you have their number one thing where you're just a bit like you're drifting apart with other Brits? I have that one thing, I'll tell you. And that one thing is meal times.
Okay.
I've become so French with meal times. Like I don't appreciate my family having late breakfast and then some type of, by my family, I mean, when I go to Germany, some kind of late breakfast at 10 or 11 when everyone's awake, then have some weird meal time around 3 in the afternoon, but then eat again at 7. I'm just so confused by it now. I just don't think I don't think it's good for your health to be eating at irregular hours. Also, there's no snacking. There's no snacking, is there?
Nope. Well, at 4 p.m. there's a snack.
At 4 p.m. snack time from 4 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. And after that, every French parent will say to their kids, like, after 4:30 or 5, you can't have any food anymore because otherwise you won't be hungry for supper. Right?
Yeah. For dinner time. Yeah.
Dinner time.
I love a goûter because you're like, people go in on the goûter. They have like a slice of bread with Nutella, like brioche. You can get a lot through a goûter.
Yeah, you can. It's the sweet snacks at that point, usually, isn't it?
Yeah.
Although I think I've heard a couple of podcasts, read a couple of articles saying that, you should switch to something savory at that point. It would be better. Because you get hungry quite quickly. But I mean, if you'll have one mealtime a day where you're allowed to have some fun food, then it better be goûter.
I think that's it. I think so throughout the day, that at 4, you can have that chocolate bar. So then you don't eat one in the morning, you don't eat one at another time, you don't always have a dessert. You think, okay, well, at goûter, I'll have my little treat snack, and then I'll be okay till dinner time. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm on board with the French eating rules. It's happened.
Makes sense. It also means that you never get incredibly hungry. You're never at that point where you're just starving unless you've left out one of the meal times.
Yeah.
But you kind of like regularly eat. And when you're at the table, you also don't eat loads and loads and loads. The restaurants usually don't have huge portions of food in the plates. And I just really like that. That's definitely something that just like that I've taken on and that I'm embracing fully.
One thing I haven't taken on board that's really French to do with food is eating on the move. No French people will eat while they're moving. Walking on a train, on like a metro, so on an underground, on a bus.
Not allowed.
Not allowed.
Not a thing also, just not a thing.
Just not a thing. I would say the other day I was walking to work, hadn't had time to eat my breakfast because normal, just had to get everyone everywhere and I had to get myself to work. And I had a banana in my bag and I felt so self-conscious walking through the streets eating a banana. People kind of looking at me like, oh, you didn't sit down and eat your breakfast. Get your life together.
Or even like you're eating again. Did you not have breakfast and now you're eating again or something like that?
Yeah, for sure. And they say often people, if they notice you specifically on public transport or colleagues, I find if I'm eating a little biscuit at my desk, they'll say, bon appetit. Like, I've seen
Just
you.
like I definitely yeah, I can see how they would do that.
Or eating on a train. I've eaten on the metro before. And if you're not eating something stinky, no, I wouldn't eat a tuna sandwich on a train or something like that. But if you're eating, can't think of anything non-smelly now, but a cheese sandwich, it's fine. Busy people, busy lives.
Yeah. Yeah, not a thing in France.
It's not
You
okay.
can't do it. Although I would say maybe you could on a long distance train if you went from, I don't know, from Lyon to Paris or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't think people would really have their snack with them. I think most people I know, even if it's expensive, they would just go to the bistro part of the
Buffet car.
buffet car and go and have something there, even if it's super overpriced. But I'd rather see people do that than like be super organized and have a snack and maybe in Tupperware, something in Tupperware. I don't think that's a thing. I don't think anyone I know who's French would have that.
That's so true. Like bringing your food to work is so not, or on a journey is way less of a thing here, isn't it?
Maybe a cooked meal, like something like really nicely cooked or something. If you
Yeah.
have a canteen, you can heat it up. You have a fridge where you can put it in that stuff. But like definitely not just like make yourself a sandwich or something.
Yeah, no. Well, you can buy such good sandwiches elsewhere just there's always a bakery with a nice sandwich or
That's true. But I feel like at least in Germany, people would be, well, but that's much more expensive. I'm not going to do that every day.
yeah, so true. People pay a lot of money for their food, eating out food here. That's true.
And also, to be fair, half of the time you're going to go to a restaurant with your colleagues and have like a nice meal.
2-hour lunch break. Boom.
2 hour lunch break. I was going to move into that topic. It's a thing.
It's such a thing. It's a long time though.
It's long. 2 hours is a long time, but I feel like there's more being done than just food being had. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, it's kind of team building. I wouldn't say it's every day. People don't go for a 2-hour
No.
lunch break every day. At
Maybe
least at
once a
least not
week.
where I work.
Maybe once a week, go to
Yeah.
a restaurant, like
Yeah.
Fridays or something.
Yeah, Friday for sure. Most days people will go for at least 45 minutes to an hour and have like a proper lunch break, including myself a lot of the time.
Yeah, you need a break.
Yeah, I quite like it. And I don't think it makes you less efficient in the day as well. Because
I
you
don't
you
think
have
so.
you have a proper break and you have a time to just switch off a bit and then you can go back and be on it again.
It must be a bit like the 4-day work week, that they've been testing all over
Yeah.
all over Europe, I feel, for I don't know how long, and every time they say it's good and still no one really has it. Do they?
Yeah,
Must be
true.
the same thing. You're just more efficient in the time that you have than just like you know. So I'm definitely down with maybe not 2 hour lunch breaks. Also, it's difficult for me now because I'm freelancing, so at home I can have a 2 hour lunch break, go to the gym, have food, and then work. But I think it's a good thing to have that big break in the middle of your day when you
I
can.
do. I think sometimes it's good. Although sometimes when you're kind of waiting for your colleagues to come back and they're on Teams, their thing has been on yellow for ages, and you're kind of thinking, "Oh no, we need to get some work done now." It's a little bit.
That is the boss talking. I'm the employee talking.
I guess. One thing that just came into my head that I do love about French. We're gonna have to stay on food for a long time because it's a big part of the culture.
Such a big part.
One observation that I love is apéro. Apéros. I guess it stands for apéritif.
Yeah,
Is that where it comes from? How
aperitif.
would
Yeah.
you describe an apéro?
I feel like it's having drinks at like late afternoon, early evening.
Yeah.
It's a bit less formal than inviting someone over for a meal, like for dinner. And it usually can be a little bit less organized. Like there can be an apéro. You'll definitely have drinks or a beer and a wine, or, have that. And someone might also bring something along. Usually people would maybe ask, what can I bring? And the food can be quite chic, it can be like loads of little dips that you've made and that stuff, but it can also just be crisps in a bowl and some cut up salami, or I don't know how you call it in English, but in Germany we'd probably say salami.
Saucisson. It's like cured sausage, isn't it? Cured meat. I was thinking about the apéro, and I was thinking, why is it different to, in the UK, we'd often have like a buffet at a party or something like that. I think the difference is you don't normally get a plate at an apéro. It's like finger food.
Yes.
Crisp. It could be crisps, yeah, but it can be like toast with something on or that kind of thing.
It's almost like you say to someone, I'm inviting you over, but like, no biggie, just gonna be
Yes.
easy.
Yeah.
I don't have to do any big dishes, so don't feel like you have to, like there's any counterpart in you
Yeah.
coming. You know what I mean? You can come
Don't
to an
go
apéro and
crazy.
stay for an hour, and sometimes you will be invited over to an apéro and you don't know how long it's gonna last. It could last until midnight. You get there at 5 and it lasts till midnight.
That encapsulates an apéro very well. No stress. Very, don't stress yourself out. Don't spend ages in the kitchen making something to bring over. Get a bag of crisps, get a pot of hummus, bring a nice bottle of wine.
Bring a nice bottle of wine, or
Don't be a dick. Bring a nice bottle of
If
wine.
you're not sure about your wine, bring beer.
That does bring us on nicely, though. We've talked a lot about food. A huge part of French culture, wine. What are our observations on wine?
Yeah. I feel like I'm a little bit biased on that one because, maybe for context, I do live in a house with friends where he is a winemaker. So we're quite close to wine in Beaujolais and that kind of culture, and the people making nice organic wine. And I feel like those are people very passionate by wine and by the artisanal part of it. I don't know, how would you say that?
I think it's like their way of life, isn't it? Because Ali lives in the Beaujolais, which is just north of Lyon, I would say. Yeah, I mean, for your friends, wine is a way of life. It's really like they're obsessed with the heritage, the product, moving things forward. Like, they live and breathe it, don't they? It's there.
Yeah, exactly. It's part of the culture. You can't make loads of money with it, but it's so French. I guess like these people are also just very connected to nature and the way,
Yeah.
it's been done decades ago, and how to like respect nature, use as little additives and chemical products as possible.
Yeah. That's because they make vin nature, though, natural wine. That's
They
a
make
specific
natural,
type of
organic.
wine, isn't it? I
Yeah.
think French people, though, obviously this group of people we're talking about, and there are a lot of people in France like that, they take it to the next level, it's their life. But I would say just the average French person knows a lot about wine. Generally, they're pretty, they know kind of
They know their
region.
regions, they know their grapes, they, yeah. And
Yeah.
we do now too, don't we?
I don't know that much about wine, definitely. I know more than when I arrived in France, because I would say, no offense, the average English person doesn't know anything about wine, but that's fine. It's not as much part of our culture. It's becoming part of our culture, thanks global warming. But I know 3 adjectives that I say in a wine shop to get a wine that I want. And over a decade, I've honed that.
Mhm.
And so now I say, no, it's 2. It's 2 adjectives. I've taken it down to 2.
Dense.
Droit, minéral. That's the 2 things I
I
like.
feel like droit is good. Droit is very pro.
I don't know I couldn't translate it, and I don't actually know what it means, but I know if I say that 2 combination together, I'm going to get a bottle of white wine that I'm going to enjoy.
And
It's
some
never
respect.
failed me.
And some respect. The
Yeah,
person
maybe
selling
they're
it.
like, "Oh, do you want it from this region?" And then I'm just kind of like, "Oh, I just know my 2 adjectives."
Then you just have to be really cool and be like, what's the grape? Chardonnay.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just like, how much is it?
No, you have to pretend like that doesn't have anything to do in your decision making.
That's true. They generally have the price on them. I'm not going to be like, yeah, blowing 60 quid on a bottle of wine, like just for the evening. But generally, yeah. So if you're coming to France and you need some adjectives to get a good wine, that's what it is. Yeah. I'm going to do some research and we can put it in the show notes of what it actually means so people
Yeah.
aren't buying disgusting wine. But I
To be
think,
fair, once you go to a lot of restaurants and or wine shops, there's only so many grape varieties that they will offer to you. I mean, in Lyon, right? Like if you drink from this region, there's not 10,000. So once you break it down a little bit, it's like with anything, it's not that huge of a topic. And
yeah,
in France, it yeah, they make wine kind of everywhere, but some of the regions make a lot of wine, so you'll know which kind of grape variety they produce in which area, and I guess that's why it feels like French people know a lot of about it because they kind of know their country. They probably have family and friends in other
true.
parts of France, and so they know which kind of wine you drink there. And I think it
That's so
comes with
true.
that. I think it comes with that. I think it's you just grow up with it. You hear people talk about wine, and so it's
Yeah.
just part of you.
Yeah, I do think we need to myth bust though, because in the UK we always used to say that French kids would drink wine, and that's why it doesn't become like the forbidden fruit. And I must say, young French kids do not drink wine. I'm sorry, they don't. It is not a thing.
I don't think so. I haven't seen this at least, but that's interesting that Brits think that. Do you
Yeah,
think
it's
they still
crazy.
tell each other that myth?
But yeah, I think it's, oh, I don't know, listeners, write in, tell us, do British people still propagate these lies about French children?
It makes me think of you drinking tea in your bottle when you were a child.
Yeah, that's bad. I used to drink black tea with milk in a baby bottle when I was a baby to go to sleep. Yeah, fun fact. But yeah, don't give wine to your babies. Don't give tea to your babies. If you're thinking about it, don't give coffee to your babies. Stick to milk. Crazy people. But I was gonna say, I think the wine thing is this kind of example of French people's just pride in their culture. And I don't mean in kind of like a awful nationalist way. It's just they're so like proud of their heritage, of
It is something that they're known for all around the world, so
yeah,
you better be proud of it, right?
yeah, that's true.
I have so much respect for the people I know who make wine and um all the steps it takes to get to a good product and the risks you're taking um and the hard work it is to not only produce it but then also to sell it. And
Yeah,
so I think when I drink wine, that's what I taste, and I love it.
we love wine. Section closed.
Cheers.
She's got wine. I've got a water. Just yeah,
That's
I did.
sad.
We didn't dig into it, but I had a bit of a heavy weekend in the UK. I went back to the UK to have a heavy weekend this weekend, and we were not well. No, we were drinking nice wine, but we were drinking too much of it. That was the problem.
I
Yeah,
better hope you had a weekend that was a little heavy on drinking and little sleep, because when you leave your family behind to go away for a weekend, you do not want to go to bed early or only drink water. So,
since we've closed the wine section,
mhm.
one thing uh, I have a lot of observations about is bureaucracy. French are almost as famous for this as they are for wine.
Yeah,
Where do we
it's a lot.
start? I mean,
I don't even know where to start. Taxes? Doing our taxes?
tax returns, yeah, because in France you have to fill out your own tax return and declare all the money you've earned, but then there are about a million things you can take off it. So I think if you're quite savvy, you can take a lot off, can't you? I mean, there's a lot of things that are kind of tax deductible and that kind of thing.
It appears that there is. I'm not sure. I'm still not sure I'm doing it right. I'm gonna admit.
I don't know. I was thinking about this. Do we admit on this podcast that we kind of just do our best on the tax form and cross our fingers? Because that's what most people do, isn't it?
Do other French people do it? Me and my husband definitely do. We definitely go for I'm sure that's right. I'm sure we can just put that in here.
Yeah, I mean, you Google a bit and do your best, and now you chat GPT it. But sometimes it's just so complicated. I mean, I don't know where to
I
put
hope
things
that they
in, where to do
soon.
things off.
I better hope they're developing an AI chatbot for us to get better at it.
Please. Yeah, please, please,
Because
please. I need that.
why are they making it so hard?
There must be a reason. The conspiracy theorist in me wants to say to take your money.
Although, there is a place where someone will just do your taxes for you, a public office where you have to have an appointment and then they'll just look at everything and be like, yeah, that's okay or not okay. You can do
That's
that.
only open from 11 a.m. until 11:30 a.m. in
Of
the
course,
morning and open
absolutely during your
from
work hours, you would have to take a day off work to be doing that.
definitely not. And also it's open for half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the afternoon. It's not open on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
And there will be a queue of 20 people that you'll have to join when you arrive.
Yes. Even if you have an appointment.
When I first arrived, and this is really bad, but it was a genuine mistake, didn't speak French, didn't really know many French people, to be honest, or nobody that would be advising me about taxes. I was a student and going out, and I just didn't declare my taxes the first year I was here. But because they announce it on the radio, everyone just kind of knows that you have to do it by a certain date, and I didn't know. I didn't do it. And I had a 20% fee from my taxes. I feel like in France, there's a certain way of moving through the world. There's certain rules you have to follow in society, and you need to know them, and then it's fine. But if
Mm-hmm.
you don't know them, it's just impossible. And they're not really written anywhere.
Yeah,
It's
that's true.
That's true. Yeah, you don't have to pay everything in one go. That was
Yeah.
terrifying.
In September, when everything else comes in and you have to pay for everything else, you also then have to pay your tax, your income tax.
And it's always you owe us. It's never we owe you. Sometimes in the UK,
Oh,
you get we overpaid your tax. Never happen. It's always you owe us.
that doesn't happen. No.
But the society rules that I was kind of thinking about, it's signing your kids up for clubs. There's no kind of announcement about when to do it, but everyone just kind of knows when it happens, And maybe it's because we're foreigners and didn't grow up here. I suppose if you grow up here, you just know.
For that kind of stuff, I don't think you just know, but you will just learn the hard way. If you've missed that deadline, well, then you're on holidays, or you have to take holidays from your job to be looking after your kids, or you have to very last minute find something else for them to do because you can't be off for 2 weeks every 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's
right?
so true. Yeah, you do learn the hard way.
Me and a couple of friends, at least from my village, usually now just send each other text messages being like, don't forget this morning at 9 a.m. you have to be in front of your computer and do this thing. Otherwise, you'll have to look after your kids.
It
You'll
always
have a
comes back to
problem.
that. Always comes back to that. But this is what I mean. You know that because you have French friends telling you. If not,
Yeah, or
that
I will tell my French friends, but we all know that is such a stressful deadline. Yeah, you'll probably miss it the first time round, and then the second you will never miss it again. But I think what's different is that you can you'll just find a way to make it work. And for example, with that, club holiday program, I feel like where I come from, you missed that deadline. Well, that's on you. Now you have to find something. And here you find out who the person making the decisions is, and you find out who is responsible for it at your town hall, and you send an email being like, oh, I missed that deadline. I really need help. And then they'll just be like, oh, okay, let us see if there's something you can do. And then, you can find a way around it. As with your taxes, you do them the best way possible. But for me, it feels like there's always a bit of a loophole, a bit of a, oops, oh, I didn't understand I had to do it that way. So I'll probably be fine and get away with it.
Are
No?
we talking about corruption? Is that, is that what we're talking about? Hello, Mr. Mayor.
I love it.
I'm so sorry. I'm just going to drop you a bottle of wine on your doorstep.
Not talking about corruption. I'm talking about genuine people helping out people because the system is difficult.
No, I know
I'm
you
not
are.
paying anyone.
That's good. Maybe that's where I'm going wrong. No, I think the thing is though, the system is so difficult that people kind of need to be like that. Otherwise, it would just be screwed. Yeah. Do we need to say some things because we did a disclaimer at the start saying we love France.
Yeah.
what do we love about France that we haven't covered? For me, it's like, and I was trying to think of a way to describe it, because for me, it's like a feeling. And it's really like, I think you'd call it like joie de vivre, joy to be living. I don't know how you would, like, just happy to be alive. And I don't think French people radiate that they're happy to be alive, generally, to be honest. But it's more just this idea of like getting the most out of life.
Yeah.
That's, it's the having a proper breakfast, having a minute before you start work to have your coffee, having a proper lunch break, sitting down, having a 3-course meal. It's
Too many
like
aperos.
Too many aperos.
Many aperos. Holidays.
Lot of
I feel like we
holidays.
haven't talked about holidays enough, because holidays is so important.
Yeah.
Everything is around, small talk is around holidays. You talk about your next holidays while you're on holidays, and you ask everyone else about their holiday plans and about their past holidays, although you can never really remember what they've said. And so next time you meet them, you just talk about it again.
That's true. We have a good episode coming out, don't we, about the best places to holiday in France, because it's such a...
because there's so much more than what you think there is.
Yeah, off the beaten track, the places you need to know. So watch out for that. But yeah, I think the joie de vivre is like, it's family too. People, their family so much. They love like getting their family together, having a really long meal, spending a lot of time together. It's like the shops are closed, which we haven't talked about. The shops are closed on a Sunday because people are like living their lives. That comes first, living your life, making sure you're making the most of it. And I think that's what I love about France.
Yeah, I think that I love that joie de vivre kind of part. Maybe I need to write that down somewhere. I like it.
Get a tattoo. That'd be a nice tattoo. Joie de vivre. I love
If
you put it to your
anyone
forehead there. Don't do that.
I'm already radiating joie de vivre, am I not?
Do not tattoo that on your head.
If anyone listening is tattooing that to any part of their body, we definitely want a picture.
Please send a picture. And send a picture of you eating on public transport in France.
Ooh, I'll take a picture
That's
of
what we
eating on
want.
public transport. I sent you one the other day.
Did you?
It was very, very difficult. I had a peanut butter sandwich and I was so hungry. It was in Tupperware. I felt very non-French.
German.
With my Tupperware.
Yeah. That's quite a dry meal as well. You're going to be doing quite a lot of with that.
It just smells so much. I mean, you cannot, if you're sitting next to other people like this, I couldn't get myself to get it out. I remember us texting and just being like, what shall I do? I'm so hungry. Just cannot get myself to take it out. It was an intense moment, let's just say.
So intense. No joie de vivre in that moment at all.
No, none of it.
Not until you'd got that sandwich out.
But for me, I would definitely say probably is joie de vivre. It's this kind of, maybe a bit of like laissez-faire. Is that something?
Which means like let it go. Let it go.
Just let it go. Just let some of
let
the
it
stuff
be.
go.
Let it be.
I think let it be. And I think that is kind of my life motto anyway. So I think that's why I fit in France. I just don't fuss around about little things. I don't want to spend time discussing details or being difficult with other people. I just want to have fun. Just concentrate on that. Life's short enough. I just want to be doing that. I want to be with my friends. I want to have long, nice dinner plans and meals. And I want to hang around with other adults while all of the kids take down my house. And I want to be on holidays with my friends and stay up way too long and have too much to drink, because I can still do that even if I'm a parent. And, I don't know. It's just like, it's this part of maybe not having to become too much of an adult, because the kids are not going to stop you from being that.
Yeah, I think that's a whole other episode about how to parent in France. We were determined not to make this a parenting podcast, but yeah, I think there's a whole subject. Yeah, so I suppose to wrap up, we say our observations from France is, if you want to live your day like a French person, have that coffee break in the morning, have a 2-hour break at lunchtime, chat to your co-workers, go have a cigarette break, why not? And if no one lets you do it, take to the streets and protest about it. I will see you next week.
Yeah, lovely listeners.
Yeah, have a lovely evening. Bye.